I'm Tony King. I'm a photographer. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm happy to see you. If you're not new here, welcome to a brand new series called Behind the Album. This is going to be working alongside my monthly reviews, but of course, 1 month, one monthly review. So Behind the Album is just going to break down a few photos from specific photo albums that I've done throughout my whole time as a photographer. Photo albums are like my comprehensive work that I share on my channel. And I have a pretty descriptive way of scoring my photo albums. And today we're going to start with an album that has a pretty high score. We're going to photo album 191, which I took in Atlanta, Georgia on July 31st, 2025 on my EPL3. There were 32 images selected in this photo album and 12 became postable. So doing the math there, that gives this photo album a score of 37.5, which is actually pretty good. And this actually happens to rank 9th out of my top 10. So does it mean that it's the absolute best just because of this stat? No, like not all the photos in here are like the number ones, like portfolio worthy. None of them are, but overall the ratio between the postable ones or the keepers versus just like the comprehensive experience of the photo album was a pretty solid one. So the first image, I was walking past a construction site and there's this really wet, destroyed Bible on the concrete blockers, and I just found it to be very interesting. Another interesting thing is I walked the same path another day and the Bible was open to a specific page. So that's an interesting story behind the photo, and maybe that's what I'm looking to do in these videos. I thought the composition was nice, the lighting was good, so an interesting thing that caught my eye. Moving on, it's the same area. It's near where I live, so I drive past this all the time, and I thought these colors were very interesting, and I always wanted to take a photo, so I walked over there. I think there's a nice depth with the Z-axis here, and the colors come out really nice. Going over a bridge that crosses the interstate, I thought there was a lot of geometry in this image to frame mainly the truck in the interstate. We have like the guardrail at the bottom as well as the hill. Then we have a telephone pole, and on the road itself, which is a nice Z-axis, and we can see all the road lines, the dash lines for crossing, and there's the big sign going over the truck, which really frames it really nicely. And I think your eye is really drawn into the center of this image, which is something that I really like. Moving forward, I thought this was an interesting unbalanced frame that also has some good geometry. Almost perfectly in the center, we have the center of the interstate, and all the leading lines going through the Z-axis is nice. I like that it's not too overcrowded with cars, but on the left side, we have like the road street signs, and then on the right, we have an extra part of fence sticking out that I did very intentionally to create this unbalanced feeling that still draws you in. And I thought this was an interesting composition, and I like the fence texture in the foreground. There's like an abandoned car wash place, and then here I'm still using a fence as like a foreground texture, trying to capture the scale of this place with all the water at the bottom, but also the things that have been left behind. I wish I was slightly to the side so that the change/vending machine back there was not obstructed on the very edge by the wall of the actual car wash place. Maybe a little bit more balanced on the right hand side too. So I could have done a little bit better on this one. Lastly, going up to one of the like car wash vending machine things with this destroyed material over the metal, I thought was super interesting, gave a real dystopian vibe, something left behind for quite a while, something that's always very fascinating to photograph and see. Feels like otherworldly almost. It feels like made up. So I like the color values in this image. I like the feeling, and I was happy with how it turned out. So I think this is overall a pretty strong photo album. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you stick around, subscribe to my channel for some more behind the album. Analyzing my photos like this hopefully gives some context to my viewers, but also it allows me to reflect on my work and improve as an artist. So that's what this series is for. Hopefully you stick around for it, and I have plenty of other videos that I'm working on as well. So you'll find a home here. I've been Tony King. Thanks for watching.